How's it going, Blazers? Working to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. If you're not a Bladester, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into this knife here. This is going to be an Almar knife. So if you didn't know, of course, Almar has passed. His wife also has passed. But Jeff Hall was a family friend for, I think it was over 30 years. So he was able to buy the unpublished, non-manufactured knives from Mar. So some of the knives that are coming out through Nemesis Knives are those knives that were designs that are out there made by Al, but they were never actually produced. So that's where you're going to see some of these. This is the NPR 3. So you had the 1, 2, and this is the third one. So you're going to have those on the Nemesis Knives website. And also you're going to have it on White Mountain Knives is where I see a majority of them. So this one is also on there as well. So check that out if you want to take a look at it. But this is not anything that's related to the main company of Mar Private Reserve, or the other one's going to be like Almar Knives or Almar Knives Inc. So this is not them. So this is Nemesis Knives that are doing the designs from Al that he purchased from Ann. So just to get that out of the way. So as far as that affiliation or non-affiliation with them. So for this one, S35 VN. So straight off the bat, great steel for it. It's going to be one that is kind of that balance between something that's easy to sharpen at home, not easy, but easier to sharpen at home, and also great edge retention as long as the heat treat's done properly. And from what we've seen through Love Them Knives, as far as the steel testing, these are coming back at proper heat treating, also proper steel, so you can have some type of reassurance that this is actually S35 heat treated properly. So that's something that is kind of hard for some of the newer brands or some of the brands that aren't like really mainstream. So that kind of adds a little bit of that reputable nature to them. So check it out for this one as far as that S35. So that's going to be a good steel for it. That's one that actually that Chris Reeve was part of in actually making, well, actually working with Crucible, because then they wanted to take the S30 and then make it better. So they went to an S35, and there still was a little bit of a give and take as far as which steel they wanted to go with, but that's a really popular one on the market. So in comparison to some of the other ones, so this is one that I still like. There's going to be the Stat Gear, and they also do have their ledge coming out. This is the Blur from Kershaw. You have the Code Steel Code 4. Full-size Griptilian. Then you have the large Pilar as well. So those are the comparisons on that one. Hand sizing, we're going to look at it as far as adult female hand, how this is going to be sitting in your hand, as well as for an adult male hand, so you can kind of get that idea. So print that out if you want to take a look at it, so you have an idea as far as what it's going to look like in your hand. So if you're looking for those specs, opinions, and discussions, I mean, join into the channel and then be a part of that communication as well for it. So this one has just the thumb, basically a thumb roll. So basically you're not going to be able to really flick this out as well. You still can, but that's where it is going to be a little bit tough on your fingernail, because that's one thing about this one. It does have a little bit of a sharp thumb studs. So it's not horrible, but it is noticeable. So that's going to be a rollout on that. And then also you can do the kind of a pinch and roll for more of a slow type of opening there. So this one has the phosphorus bronze washers as well. So this is going to break in over time. So it's going to be maybe a little bit stiffer. So I did tighten this down slightly when I first got it, because it did have a little bit of side to side, but nothing that was horrible, nothing that you would have to worry about. Just for my liking, I wanted to do that. So that's something I did add. And then over time, it's going to break in and then it's going to smooth out. That's one thing really good about the phosphorus bronze washers. So for this one, as far as pricing wise, MSRP, basically through the Nemesis Knives website, you're going to get a 125. So White Mountain Knives does have it listed now for 102.99, and then you can also still get the 10% discount. I believe still Love Them Knives, and also Slicey Dicey still has their discount code of 10% off, which would bring it down to $97.84. So still a great price on it. So if you're like, well, why would I get that when I could buy some other knives? I mean, support some of the groups and then the people behind it as well. So this is not going to be something that they made 10,000 of them. So whatever the OEM that he's working with is doing a good job for the knives, because they actually are coming out with a pretty good quality. And then it actually is something that I think this actually should be maybe even like buck knives if you actually come out with more of a modern lockback. I do like the one-hand operation. So actually being able to actually flip it down and use it one-handed, other than the lockback design that's way down in the bottom. And I'm sure there's ways to get around that to actually have that one-hand operation as well. But this is a little bit more intuitive for that. And then also for the knife, there is going to be, for this one, it's going to be kind of a spear point, that type of blade, possibly drop point, flat grind for it, for this knife here. And then 3.4 ounces or 97 grams. And then also for the thickness behind the edge, it's going to be about, it's about 30 thousandths behind the edge. So about 8 pieces of paper. So if you actually do have some copy paper laying around, pick that up. That's going to be what it's going to be behind the edge on this knife. Now this one came out to about 328 on the sharpness test. So that still puts it at new high-end cutlery. Still could use some refresh on that to bring it down more than that. But that is where it is currently, is about 328 for it. So also one thing that it's kind of what I found to be a pet peeve of mine is when blades go from tip up to tip down, or more so the other way, from tip down to tip up. A lot of times with the lanyard hole, you actually change the way that that knife is going to sit in your pocket. So normally in that tip up position, it's going to be actually riding higher because of a lanyard hole. This one is one that does not do that, because the way that he was able to kind of engineer it was to actually have it where it would ride pretty much roughly the same. So tip up to tip down, there's basically right hand, left hand, tip up, tip down. So kind of like a spider code in that sense. And then you're going to have this clip here. And then even with the lanyard hole, you're still going to be running about the same as far as in the pocket as you would if you're going to run it tip down. So that's something that is a great thing for it. So do appreciate that, Jeff, for actually working that out as far as that information for those. But check it out as far as those goes. Pick it up. I would say that this would be a buy for this knife. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I like the overall style of it. The grippiness of the G10 is really good. Would you pick it up over a Code 4? I wouldn't say so. Like, I would say get this one first if you want a lockback, or actually this one's the triad lock. So this would be the first one, but if you have this, pick up one of those. Is my suggestion for that. But let me know in the comments down below as far as what you think, what you'd like to see in the future, and then be a part of that conversation. And if you would like to, hit that like, hit that subscribe button as well. Let me know how I'm doing. Thank you again for your time. Have a great night.